Welcome to the Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast, where we bring you a weekly dose of powerlifting news, tips, and training advice with a touch of 80s rock ballads. This podcast is presented by Team Roar Powerlifting, your source of the most comprehensive coaching and meet day preparation. Here are your hosts,
Cindy Yeager and Amy Pancake.
Welcome to episode 90 of Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Cindy Yeager.
And I'm your co-host, Amy Pancake.
So how are you doing today, Amy?
I'm great, Cindy. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Hey, you want to talk a little bit about why you decided you wanted to become a referee for powerlifting?
Sure. Don't you think we should tell them where we buried Josh and Laura first?
Nah, let's not, because, then it's just going to start pointing fingers at us. And, and if you ever watch any of the crime mystery shows, you just always have to claim innocence.
All right. All right, let's talk about referees.
It's easier that way because everybody knows that if Josh ever programmed for you, that's probably why he's buried somewhere hidden. So why did you want to become a referee?
Well, number one, I guess the main reason is to give back to the sport. But it's really a lot of fun. I mean, I really enjoy it. I think that, you get that close-up view when you're there sitting in the chair, and it's just very different than any other volunteering position because you're just right there and you can see all the action. But, the initial reason was just to give back to the sport in every way that I could. And I wanted to be able to do other things, other volunteering positions that required you to be a referee. How about you, Cindy?
Kind of the same thing. With not having, where I live, there's not a big powerlifting presence. So in order for me to learn more about the sport, it's kind of like I went after it from every aspect, from getting my coach's certificate to becoming a referee. And I kind of agree, it's a lot of fun. Being able to sit there and kind of in a way celebrate with the athletes when they hit their PRs, and your heart breaks when you have to red light them. But that up close view, it's a totally different perspective. There's so much to watch. And it's kind of nerve-wracking at some times too, especially when you know that people are going for records or even trying to go for a PR. You can kind of watch, on the sides when the coaches and stuff are talking to them. So you're kind of rooting for them, but yet you have to be like really professional and make sure that you're not, kind of giving them a gimme, because you want them to also, be doing the best and everything. So, but I love being able to give back to a sport that's given me so much. And the people that I've met through reffing are just absolutely amazing. They're so much fun.
I totally agree. It's just a great group of people.
Were you nervous about it at all at any point? Like going for the exam or even the first time you reffed?
I was nervous about it all. I mean, I tend to be a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to things like that. So I want to do like everything, the best that I could do. So I was a little nervous. Josh helped me understand a few things that were kind of confusing, like the flights. I had a hard time, kind of getting that all organized in my brain. But, learning all of that really helped. Even though I had competed several times, it just really helped, learn more about the organization of a meet and how things flow. So that was really helpful. But yes, I was definitely nervous, and very much so the first time I sat in the chair. I mean, I wanted to, everything to be perfect. I wanted to be 100% fair, the best of my ability. But then I also wanted everyone to get a green light, and that's not possible. You have to, hold everyone to the standards. I mean, just to protect that integrity of the sport. So it felt really good to be just part of that. One reason I was drawn to USAPL was that I felt that there was so much integrity in the organization, and just to be able to continue that is really important to me, because I think that to say that you have X record, I think that should really mean something.
Yeah, I agree. I was able to officiate at the high school state meet for Wisconsin, and we had a couple of national level refs that were there to help with some of the records and things like that. And now that I've kind of gotten in and have got a couple of meets under my belt, it's just kind of inspiring me to be able to do more and go after, even a national certification, so that, I can continue to help out the state in any form that I can, even help out, when we compete at nationals. But I agree. I think learning how to become a ref, going through all the studying and learning how meets and everything are put together and all the different positions gave me a whole different respect for the sport. Especially when you look at the rules that have to be followed and how you need to know them. And even when there's things in question, there's others that are there to kind of help you. So even though you're doing it on your own, you're kind of not 100% on your own. And there's a lot of conversations and everything that are going on. But I kind of agree with you that the integrity and what USAPL stands for is kind of another reason that drew me not only to this federation, but also just to be able to learn more of everything that's going on behind the scenes. And there's a lot I never realized until, you actually get in and volunteer to see all the different things that have to go on, and like clockwork, especially when you're running multi-platforms and shifting people around and everything else. It's kind of crazy, but super exciting all at the same time.
I think I'm just as tired at the end of the day after reffing as I am after lifting, almost anyway. Don't tell Josh this though, but I have way back in the back of my mind thought that someday I might want to run a meet.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I
still need to learn a lot. I have a lot to learn, but I think that would be so much fun. Yeah.
But the thing that I like about reffing too is that every meet that I've gone to, I have learned something new. Because there's a situation that, you can't plan for everything. You can't see everything. But I think that's kind of cool that you want to take even the next step and go, and actually organize a meet or even co-chair a meet or something. There's a lot to that. That's cool.
Yeah. Hello?
I won't tell Josh at all though.
Wait.
Hey.
Okay. Please.
Hope just unburied me and drove me over here.
Oh my God.
What the hell?
You guys.
Okay, how much did you hear?
I heard enough.
Well, wait, he has selective hearing, Amy, so you're safe.
Oh, that's right.
Don't worry about that.
Okay, so, don't tell him.
So let me get this straight. You guys want to run a meet, both of you, and you both want to be national refs.
You never say that to Josh.
And I'm your favorite in the world, which is why you buried me.
Okay, the selective hearing and the not listening, you kind of put both those together because I don't remember that. And this is recorded, Josh, so you can't even throw that one back at us. So.
We need to do video
I don't
review.
remember saying that I ever wanted to run a meet.
Yeah, I heard what I heard. So anyway, Hopi is joining us. Hello, Hopi.
Hi.
So I actually have a question for all of you, all three of you. If all three of you actually, well, I was going to say come from a CrossFit background, but Hope come from like a running background, then kind of powerlifting, then kind of running, then CrossFit, then powerlifting. But she gets bored. Hope gets bored with the long rest times of powerlifting.
I like to superset things. It's boring sitting there on your bench looking at your phone.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I disagree. But so I thought this would be kind of I guess this is for all three of you, whoever wants to talk, but those of you that are used to that fast paced, I guess, training, or, kind of go nonstop, like what were the thoughts, and I guess when you did switch to powerlifting training? Hope, you're first.
Oh, wow. Okay, so obviously I'm Josh's wife. We've never seen eye to eye on the way things happen in the sporting arena. What was the question related to?
The question was, why
Not
why
that.
I can't.
why do you love powerlifting so much?
Yeah, that's what
I'm
I heard.
I'm Josh's wife. I was forced to love powerlifting by Josh, and I've moved on. I love Josh though. That's why I love powerlifting. No, but it's great to watch the excitement people have in their PRs. I have done 3 or 4 meets in my time, collegiates, and I came out of retirement in 2012 and went right back in. Yeah, so this cardio girl, long distance weirdo at that, loves powerlifting because my husband is passionate about it, and I will support him in all of his heavy lifting.
Oh, thanks, babe.
Yeah. I'm not
so-
that mushy usually.
So yeah, it's because it's being recorded. She's got to.
Yeah, I can't
Hype
drop
it
any
up now.
F-bombs or like, are you out of your mind?
Well, you
Well, that's
can't.
okay. When you bury him again, then see, this just shows that you don't really have a motive.
There we go.
So I was going to talk about the running meet stuff. So like, I ran meets from 2010 to 2021. And most of those meets, like 2012 on, like Hope was actually doing all the background work. So
That's why I really like powerlifting.
yeah, that's so she she put in her time. But for real, like, everybody that runs meets, like there's so much that goes into it. And I'm not trying to talk both of you out of running meets, because I know you both are super excited to run meets, but I just wanted to, I guess, give Hopi the public props and thanks for all of the background work and everything all those years, because literally the meets that we put on, they worked because of all the back end stuff that she did.
The
So
administrative stuff that nobody wants to deal with, and that
Yeah.
is perfectly great for nerds like me. But I also am the cranky person that people had to deal with when they didn't do things right, or they accused me of not ordering their stuff correctly. So
that was always fun.
yeah, that's my favorite, is yelling at somebody and showing them their order. So like, see, you ordered this.
Yeah, and like during that time, so like I kind of got the glory of it all as being the meet director, but like she got like all the crap of it all. Like anytime there was somebody that was upset with something, like they went to her. If there was like something that they thought was not right, they went to her. So yeah, kind of. So I basically got the fun side. She got the whatever.
And that's why I don't power lift.
Yeah. So I guess I ruined it for her.
But we should get back to asking them.
Yeah. No, I just wanted
the
to.
question.
Yeah. Well, so the next question was, wanted to talk about like the coaching we do a little bit, because I know both of you train with us, obviously. Cindy, you train virtually, and Amy, you train in person. So I thought maybe you guys wanted to discuss that a little bit, because we always have questions about how our coaching works. And this is not scripted. I have not told them what to say. Maybe I should have, depending on what they're about to say. But
Josh is great. I'm really glad that he coaches me.
turn over notepad.
Hold on.
Okay. So to Josh is great. This week he won't program squats at sets of 10. Okay. So Josh is great.
Anyway, so Cindy, we'll start with you since you seem to be ready to go. you want to just kind of talk about the online coaching, like the virtual stuff we do, how it works, and be honest. If I'm a pain in your ass, well, that's not good there because we know
Okay,
that's true.
well,
If you, yeah, whatever, floor's yours.
So actually we just got done training right before this. I did not get a chance to get my hands washed. So I still got chalk on my hands. But that was one of the things that really drew me actually to Team Roar, was the fact that I could do virtual training since I can't be anywhere near a powerlifting coach. And there's, usually on Monday nights, it's, a couple of us that are on. So the joking around and the banter and the picking on Josh is constant. He kind of had made a comment a couple of times that he regretted putting some of us together because Josh is continually the butt of the jokes, and usually getting yelled at by us and everything else. But still, even through a lift, he's, you have your headphones in, he's constantly talking to you, encouraging, correcting form, helping explain things. And, he's on camera as well. So if he needs to show us something, he's right there. So outside of him physically being like right next to me, it's like he's there. So he's very concerned about our safety.
Like he's
I'm to be honest, so I am. And he hasn't finished out my programming for the week, so I'm hoping this is going to help Amy. So shh, don't tell him.
Yeah, I know what you're doing.
But he is concerned about our safety and stuff too. Because I'll be honest, there's a couple of times when I've had to do it at a gym and I don't necessarily have safeties. And he's flat out told me we're not going up to the weights that we need to because he's more concerned of our safety than what he is, than anything else. So he'd rather see us drop weights to make sure that we're making reps and everything like that. Or if we come away, like tonight, I hurt my arm a little bit. I'm doing squats. We changed it around. So with him being right there, he's actually he's driving the whole session pretty much. And we're very not nice to him sometimes. He's gotten called names multiple times. He hit math for a lot of us is really challenging. We don't let him count reps because that's usually off. So you're kind of on your own on that one. I don't know what he's like in person, Amy. I'll kind of let you take that one. I think I've trained with him once in person, and it was like I said, it was almost the same as if I was training with him virtually.
Except you couldn't mute me.
I will say that is kind of nice. I can do that, and I can turn my camera off, and then make you. I can kind of mess with you a little bit because we can just like pretend I'm freezing or turn the music up loud enough, and then I just drown you out anyway. So we're good.
So I guess I'll do a follow-up question before we move to Amy. So with our virtual stuff, is that something that you think would be beneficial to newer lifters, or is that kind of a certain level?
No, I think it would be huge for newer lifters. And I'm going to say I was very much a newer lifter when I started. So we've been together now 2 years. And I think I had maybe 2 or 3 meets under my belt, but the coaches that I had weren't powerlifting coaches. They were good coaches if I wanted to do bodybuilding or just general strength, but form correction and all of that all came from when I started with you. So I think that virtual piece and being able to tell me while I'm in the movement was huge. So I think especially for newer lifters at any level, really at any level, because, one of the people that's on with us training on Monday nights has been lifting for multiple years, has been to world championships, and you're still helping with form and correct things as we're doing it. So I think it's great for any aspect for new or veteran lifters.
I agree. Pancake, what do you have to say?
So I like the live like interaction. Well, plus I'm an equipped lifter, so that's kind of necessary. You need some help there.
Definitely.
Yeah. So that's out of necessity, but still, I like it when there are a lot of people in there. I like it when, there's a lot of adrenaline. I mean, that really just pushes me a lot to really push myself. Sometimes at home when I'm in my basement, I get a little claustrophobic and a little bored. So I really like that live coaching, not only for my, just me pushing myself a little harder, but just out of necessity as well, just for being an equipped lifter. Sounds like the dynamics are a little bit different, because usually Josh is the one telling me to, get off my ass and stop being lazy, right? Like, I didn't know I could get away with these things, so let me try to change my tactic. No.
You can't.
No.
So that was false information that Cindy told me.
Amy, just start messing with them and just start moving your lips, and then just tell them, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was on mute."
In person? So,
In
yeah,
person.
I'll try that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only seen Josh afraid of me once, and that was last week.
He was
Yeah.
afraid of you?
I mean, I'm
so.
always afraid of all of you, actually. Full disclosure, but I was especially leery of being too close to Amy Pancake.
Were you stripping or something?
No, it was after. So basically, after the announcement that Equipped wasn't going to be in prime time, and I was in favor of that. So
yeah.
Anyway, we're not going to go there. We're gonna derail the whole conversation.
Why not?
Okay, if we have to.
Amy, be careful, because if Josh disappears again, you've got the motive right now. Hope and I've been, and this is all recorded, so just saying.
Yeah. I think when I saw he was afraid of me, I just let it ride that way.
I think if anything happens to me, the three people on this podcast are the first ones to suspect.
It's like a real live game of Mafia.
Yeah. Ooh. Speaking of Mafia, I've talked about that on multiple episodes already. We'll hold off on that one. But all right, let's move on. Thank you both seriously for the words there on how our coaching works. And obviously, if anybody has any questions about it, you can definitely hit us up on Instagram at Team Roar. Ask us any questions. We'll be happy to answer them. And we always do a free consultation on Zoom with everybody that's interested in beginning as well. So, we have some voting results we need to go over from the top 5 movie soundtracks. We were down to the final 4, Dawn versus Amy Pancake. Sorry, Amy Pancake, but yeah, you went down this week, 43-10. That was a beatdown. That was a beatdown.
You got slaughtered, Amy. Sorry.
And I forgot to vote. I'm so busy on the weekends with kids stuff, and that's prime opportunity. I could have gone to my kids and their friends and said, "Look, here's what you need to do: vote, and I didn't take advantage of that.
Yeah, you really screwed up there.
Yeah, I know, right?
So anyway, Dawn moves on, and Dawn will face the winner of Cameron versus Jim. So Cameron Barlow actually won that one 15-6. So the championship voting will be on Sunday. That'll be Don Dotson against Cameron Barlow, and the winner gets $50 worth of Team Roar apparel. So make sure you guys check the PL Ballads Instagram stories on Sunday and vote for your favorite list. So moving on to normally Laura does all this stuff. So I'm just I don't know what to do. So the powerlifting situation, there's 14 lifters in your flight. When you go back to start warming up, you see that the warm-up options are either a pair of squat stands, which are essentially just 2 individual stands that hold the bar. It's not real stable, and 1 ER rack with kilo plates. So there's basically 10 lifters around the ER rack waiting to warm up. And then, the other 3 plus you are kind of not sure where to go. So what would you do? Would you warm up on the squat stands, or warm up on trying to get in the rotation with the ER rack and kilo plates?
I think it depends on a lot of other factors, like where are you in your need for time to warm up? How aggressive is your coach to go push your way through and get on that ER rack? That would be choice number one. Yeah, I think it would depend a lot on what your needs were. I mean, could you get away with, the extra time? Okay, yeah, that might be worth it, but otherwise, you got to do what you got to do and be ready.
Yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with Amy. I think it depends upon where you are in that, group of 14 and how much time that you've got, and hope that you've got, one tough coach that will just kind of like plow their way through and try to get you up there. But if you need to go to the not real stable ones, you may have to go to the not real stable ones and just be smart.
And I would say that you're so proud of me right now. I would say that I would probably do my lighter warm-ups on the not as stable, and hope that the other ones will clear out / you can kind of get into the rotation, because they start to, they generally go up and people can kind of work their way in to the warm-up. Are you so proud?
So that was literally going to be my answer.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what to say now.
That's a great answer.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would do. Just get that light stuff on there, because, stability is not going to really matter until you get some weight on the bar. But I'm tiny, so I'm never going to knock those things over.
Yeah, I think 10 people on one rack is just going to be, you're not going to get your warm-ups in, just timing wise. So literally, I guess I would say pretty much do all of them, but maybe the last two, if you even have time, maybe just the last one, if you can work in, because, people that are trying to get all their warm-ups on there, they're going to end up having to cut them out or not be warmed up in time, because it's just, you're not going to get through fast enough to get everybody warmed up, because people aren't going to agree on whose turn it is. People are going to be changing the rack heights like crazy. People are going to, there's going to be 3 plates on each side, and somebody's going to jump in and say, no, I need one plate, and then you're going to have to unload and then put 3 back on. And it's just going to be, it's just not going to work for that many people. So I think you plan on warming up completely on the squat stands, with the idea of moving to the heavy ones, like Hopi said, on the heavier ones, if you're able to.
I've spent enough time in the gym.
You know what's up.
I know what's up. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So the last thing we'll do is our new lifter tip. The new lifter tip this week was train with referee commands. You have to wait for them in a meet, therefore practice waiting for them in training. You guys agree or disagree?
100% agree.
100% agree, because I have red lighted missing a command.
Even more so with, I was going to say, since I've become a ref, like I didn't realize so many people went into a meet without that component. I mean, we started from the beginning, so it's like comes natural. Like, even if someone's not saying the commands in our heads, I think we're hearing the commands because it's just ingrained into how we practice. But yeah, being a ref and seeing how many people come into a meet not knowing the commands is painful, because you see somebody do a really great squat and then they rack the bar before rack, and it's just painful, to have to run like that. But you got to know the commands.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And even if you train with them, adrenaline takes over at times, and you miss, sure. and we can miss them and stuff too.
Absolutely. Especially, if you have a lot of nerves when you compete, and even if you're training with those, it's like, oh crap, I didn't wait for the rack command. I didn't wait for the press command, down. Like it, how to do your lifts, but you just kind of get in your head and I just want this to be done. I just want to get off the stage, away from everything. And so I would definitely say I've been red lighted for Definitely the press command for sure. Like, for sure.
So, Hopi, what are the commands for squat?
Oh no, stop. No, I don't want to.
I don't want to.
No, hey, I'm the sit on the side and judge people. Josh always said I should have became a referee, actually.
Yeah, because every time I throw any trivia at you, like no matter if it's like state referee caliber or like
National.
or like
Because I helped him study for this national exam too.
Yeah, so literally anything I throw at you, you always answer, except when we're on a podcast, you won't answer. That's fine. So anyway, so that's still on my my to-do list is to talk Opie into becoming a state referee.
Are you out of your mind?
Yeah, it's never gonna happen. But
You have a better choice, like choosing our unborn child as a state referee than me.
oh, they won't have an option.
Oh, what's the age? What's the age requirement?
Yeah, we'll see about getting that changed.
Yeah, they'll be
Yeah.
like judging people at 5, like press. You didn't do the press. What are you doing?
Amy's son judges her all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, he judged me at the Arnold. Was it the Arnold or the state meet? I can't remember, but it was at the state meet. My third squat was high, and he said, "Mom, you didn't get your hips below parallel." I knew that was high, like before I even said anything. He's just,
And how old
"Mom,
is he?
you got to do better." He just turned 12 on Thursday.
Awesome.
I hung my head.
Maybe we can get the state referee age requirement down to 12 and we can get
Yeah.
Taylor in there.
There we go.
Like, that's barely a pause. I mean, come on.
Yeah, do better.
Do better, Mom.
Yeah.
What happened to your hair, Josh?
I
Where's your
cut it off.
It's in the backyard.
It's
It looks like one of the chickens got maimed or something. But it's really Josh's hair in clumps in the backyard. That's where he does it. That's his considerate thing.
Let's talk about the soundtracks real quick, and then I'll edit that part about my hair cutting practices.
I don't think we should, but
So our we'll go through the championship because we didn't talk about that yet.
I guess so.
So all right, the championship is between Don Dotson and Cameron Barlow. So Don had Saturday Night Fever as her number 1, and Cameron had Scott Pilgrim versus the World as his number 1. Are you familiar with either one of those?
Yeah, absolutely. But Scott Pilgrim versus the World, I don't really remember the soundtrack. Like, that movie wasn't very memorable to me at all.
I've never seen
don't-
it, so I don't even know.
I don't
I've never seen
recall it. I think it was Jesse Eisenberg or something. I can't remember. It's like probably 10 years old, the movie.
So let's do this. Let's vote for which song is better at each section and see what we think.
Or
So
soundtrack, you mean?
yeah, so Saturday Night Fever or Scott Pilgrim versus the World. is
But
the
we don't
number
know
1.
what Scott Pilgrim versus the World
Then
is.
it automatically loses.
I guess so.
I think my number 1's better.
We're not talking about you. You lost.
I
But-
should have won. Mine was better.
But Saturday Night Fever is all the Bee Gees. Like it's
Yeah.
just all the Bee Gees, like the whole movie. It's just one song after another, which are great. But I still think my number 1 movie soundtrack is probably Forrest Gump.
That was mine, and I didn't win.
I know, because you copied off of me. You got that.
That
for
is
me.
a great soundtrack.
Get out of
It's
here.
so good.
All right, moving on. You guys are teaming up. So the number 2 movie soundtrack, Don had Guardians of the Galaxy and Cameron had School of Rock. Which one do we think's better there?
Guardians of the Galaxy, personally.
Ugh, I like School of Rock. I don't remember too much about Guardians of the Galaxy.
The only one from Guardians of the Galaxy is bum 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 bum.
Hey.
Hey.
I mean, they did Brandy in the second one.
Yeah.
But they had some like really solid like early 80s, late 70s, more like tunes than like metal. Because School of Rock's a little bit more heavy.
I
than-
loved School of Rock. I
Yeah.
thought that movie was great. So
Yeah.
that would be my choice.
All right. Cindy, what do you say?
I've never seen School of Rock, so I'm gonna have to go with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay. Well, that's 2-0 for Dawn so far.
Mm.
Little Mermaid versus Bohemian Rhapsody. That was the number 3 that they both
Oh,
had.
Bohemian
Bohemian
Rhapsody.
Rhapsody.
Yep.
Yeah, that shouldn't
Yeah,
even,
for
that's not
sure.
even a contest. I mean, I
No.
love a good Disney movie, but Bohemian Rhapsody, I mean, who doesn't love Queen? But I still
Yeah.
think you shouldn't be able to use those type of movies, right?
Yeah, that's what we were just trying to decide is like, so like Bohemian Rhapsody, it's not, I mean, it's a movie that's about
It's like
Queen.
using Across the Universe, which was the Beatles movie that's equivalent to, you know,
Yeah.
it's just like all their songs in one. So it's like, you know, the greatest hits of all
Yeah.
those,
Yeah.
which is,
I know I
it's
have
great.
mixed feelings on it, but I figured so like previously when there was something like that, like Laura and I just like drew a line through it on the voting. So like it was like they submitted a blank. But it would have like it ended up this one would have
It
been
was
like
on
all
quite a
black.
few people's lists.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this one was on a
Yeah.
lot of so like this would have been like a lot of things blacked out. So we just left them on. And I figured the voters are intelligent enough to not vote for somebody with a list if it has songs like this, but
Yeah.
maybe that's not the case. No offense to our listeners.
No.
No offense to us, we just all called out that we would have voted for Bohemian Rhapsody. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I would have too. So,
Yeah.
all right. So Cameron's on the board there, 2-1. The number 4 movie soundtrack, The Bodyguard versus Black Panther.
Oh, that's a tough one.
um,
I'm gonna say Black Panther.
I'm going to as well.
Not a
I'm
tiebreaker, it's already
probably
majority.
gonna have to go towards Black Panther as well. I mean, there's like primarily 2 good songs on The Bodyguard
Yeah.
that stand out to me.
Okay. So we got 2-2, Cameron versus Don right now. Ooh,
There it is.
The number 5 movie soundtrack, Godfather Trilogy or Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. And before we get into this is where I have a little bit of an issue because
It's a trilogy.
for the number 2, Dawn put Guardians of the Galaxy, but she didn't specify Volume 1, Volume 2. So she might have been implying both of them. But Cameron was very specific, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. And then Dawn put Godfather Trilogy instead of one specific movie. So I have feelings on that about using a trilogy.
Illegal.
Yeah.
In my head.
But,
Nah.
you know, it's up to the voters. They can vote. And I'm not trying to sway, obviously.
This is the first time I've had say in this. So,
Yeah.
so I mean, I would say you're out. Can't use a trilogy.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Although they can sell things like so they can sell
Box
things in
set.
box sets.
That's true. They
You
do.
could get all of them in one shot and just play all of your favorites. So, but it is hard because it's like, were you leaning towards one or the music from one might have like been better than
Might
the
have
other?
influenced
I mean,
your feelings towards the other one. Yeah.
How many of
Yeah.
our listeners do you think are too young to know what a box set is? You might
Remember
have
the
to explain
VHS
that.
box set?
Oh my gosh, I used to get so excited about the box set.
Yeah, the VHS box sets. I mean, and then when you got the albums, it was, you
Uh-huh.
had all the albums and anyways, they weren't called box sets back in the day.
So I tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't really remember a whole lot about the music from The Godfather. Honest to God.
Yeah, I don't
Like
either.
it was just a lot of like that traditional Italian instrumental is what I remember it to be. And we watched it during COVID, so it was decently recent.
I remember
2021.
I remember nothing about the music.
Well,
So
I don't think I've seen all 3 of the movies. to
Oh,
be
I've seen
honest.
them all.
I've
Couple
seen none
times.
of those movies.
Oh,
what?
I don't do violence. I
don't
do
do
not
that.
do violence. No, I cannot watch a violent movie. I won't sleep for like a month.
I mean, it's not really violent necessarily. It's more like gangster film type of thing with lots of emotions. in it and everything. But why are you over here acting like you
Oh,
know
judgy.
things
Well,
about
that
movies?
does it for today's episode. So thank you guys for joining us. Don't forget the final voting for the top 5 movie soundtrack list is going to happen on Sunday.
You can't take the pressure. We never talked about number 5 officially.
We
Like,
never
what's the
voted.
winner?
All right,
Because they're 2-2.
you're right.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
Godfather trilogy or Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1?
I think Cameron won.
You think Cameron won?
Guardians
Yeah.
of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Got it. Okay.
It's still not
Well,
as good as my list, though.
So our panel voted 2-1, no, 3-2
Mhm.
in favor of Cameron, but we actually don't count.
Amy, you're starting to sound like Josh when he doesn't win. Just saying.
But I'm actually right.
Huh? But he thought- yeah, but he thought so too. Remember on a lot of his, so that kind of, score loser, kind of, just saying.
All right. Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up now. I don't know how much more I can take of this. So don't forget, follow us on Instagram at PL Ballads Podcast. Voting will be on Sunday for the final round, and we will crown a champion, and they get $50 worth of Team Roar apparel. If you are interested in coaching from Team Roar, don't forget to follow Team Roar on Instagram at Team Roar and schedule a free consultation. We'll get you up to speed, let you know what the dealio is. All right.
Are
We're
you
out.
gonna say catch you on the flippity flop like your dad would
Catch you
say?
on the flippity flop. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye now.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode of the Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast, please remember to subscribe and share it with your friends.